Things like that, but really listening to the customer.
Yeah.
They will give you the clues. That also means you need to be active in terms of reaching out to the customer to hear and pull out from them what they'd like.
Hello and welcome to this week's Wealth Builders Podcast. Today we are talking about real estate, and that if you do real estate, it's a business. And I've got Ray Patterson with me today.
Yeah, hello, Karen.
So glad to have you.
It's so good to be here. Talking about business is my favorite subject.
Well, and you're so good at it. Of course, Ray is the coordinator for the Cares Business School, and he's also one of our business coaches. So I think you're really going to enjoy hearing from him on this topic, because oftentimes when we invest in real estate, we just see it as an investment, but actually what Ray's going to be sharing with us today is it's a business, and he's going to walk through things with us, which is amazing, because I got a glimpse of this at our recent quick start of our coaching clients. So it's really great. But before we get going, I want to tell you about our free offer today. We've got a free download of Billy's Top 10 Secrets of Real Estate Financing. And the subtitle is How to Grow Your Portfolio Faster. And we want to offer this to you completely free. It'll come in the form of a download. Just click on the link below and you can get this delivered right into your email. So I think you'll really enjoy this. Well, Ray, so real estate is a business.
Amen.
So take us through the process. Maybe start out what you were seeing, because you put this teaching together for a quick start, and you were really seeing this as a need.
Yes, a lot of us, myself included, got into business more as I don't want to say a side hustle, but not our main focus. But we want to build some passive income. We've got other income, and we see the opportunity to get in and get some real estate. And if we're not deliberate, if we're not careful, we will always think of the real estate as something on the side.
That's really good.
Rather than we can make this a business, and it is a business. And some of you may be like I was, thinking, well, if I have one business, that's all I can work in is one business. Not true.
Yes.
You can have multiple businesses that you work on at once.
That's really good.
But if you're going to do real estate as a good passive income, there is still active things you need to do.
True.
In order to understand that business, understand what part of real estate you're in, and then how do you want to grow with that? How do you want it to grow? And that means oftentimes starting out with defining and documenting your vision for what you want your real estate portfolio to be.
That's really good.
And then as you look at that, of course, being the business school coordinator, working with the business model generation canvas, that is a framework that you use, a model that you use to describe your product or service. In this case, what area of real estate are you in? Are you in short-term rentals and you want to get a series of them? You've got one set of customers, and you'll approach those customers in a particular way.
It's really good.
And you'll build relationships with them, because if you're in a short-term rental business, you want those customers to come back.
That's so true.
You want to get those good reviews so other people come and the business grows, and that drops to revenue.
Yes.
On the other hand, you have to understand the cost going in. What activities do you need to do to deliver your real estate services or your real estate business growth? And then what resources do you need for that? And who do you need to partner with? Because we can talk about a variety of different types of real estate investments, but let's just keep it in the short-term rental for now. If you're doing short-term rental, you may or may not want to manage all that property yourself. So you need a property management team. You don't necessarily want to do the housekeeping. So you need a cleaning team. You don't want to do the emergency repairs, so you need to build a repair team. They're not people that have to be on your staff full time, but you want to build relationships with people. So somebody's in your property, there's an issue, you make a phone call, they take care of the issue, your customer's happy, your tenants are happy, your partners are happy, and you don't have the headache, so you're happy.
That's so good. And you know, Ray, when you go through that process, and we'll just continue on short-term rentals,
Sure.
Because it helps to kind of have a theme. But one of the other things too, like when you're building this business model canvas, and by the way, Ray is going to be, he's one of our speakers at the upcoming business and nonprofit workshop. And so if you're in real estate and thought, gosh, I don't need to go to that, you want to go to this workshop because it's going to really help you along these lines. Absolutely. But the other thing about laying things out in the BMGC, I mean, many things, but it can actually uncover additional revenue streams.
Absolutely.
So sometimes we go in and, you know, we get the properties up and we just think that the only income that could come in is from rentals. Of course, that's the bulk of it, but it gets you thinking about, well, what else could we add here to increase our revenue streams? And when you look at the expenses and you look at the income, and if there's a gap, that would be like, what do we need to do? Maybe we need to add a cowboy pool. I say that because we've been adding cowboy pools. And then you can go in on ChatGPT and say, how much more can I get per night if I add a pool? I mean, there's a lot of things that this process really helps to bring out. And another thing too, I think with getting real estate together, a lot of times we're thinking about what we need to do as an owner or the investor to get something ready, but the business model canvas in the customer relationship part forces you to think about what is the customer expecting from me.
Exactly.
And that is, I think that is such a powerful little box in that business model canvas. So can you share just a little bit more about that customer relationship and how it helps you with a business?
Well, I believe, Karen, that one of the biggest opportunities for a lot of businesses is in that space. And I define that in a way that is, you need to constantly be listening to your customer.
Oh, that's good, Ray.
You know, you develop a business, you have something you want to serve people with.
Right.
Or provide to people. And you often think about it as a one-way transaction.
Right.
Right? But if you really listen to your customers, they will give you the clues for how can I serve them better? How can I serve them additionally? What kind of things would they like that I'm not providing, but I'm hearing, just like the pool, you know, or
yes.
You know, just like the things on the short-term rental that we had for a while. It happened to be on Lake Ozark, and it had a boat dock.
Oh, nice.
So there's an additional revenue stream. So much a night to stay in the short-term rental, but if you want to come for a week and bring your boat, we have a boat dock
that they can rent additionally.
So just things like that, but really listening to the customer.
Yeah.
They will give you the clues. That also means you need to be active in terms of reaching out to the customer to hear and pull out from them what they'd like.
Oh, that is so good. Now, when you taught on this with the real estate coaching clients, what were some of the things that bubbled up in this idea that real estate's a business, using the business model canvas? Did anything surprise you, or like what were the ahas of the people that were attending?
I really think most of the ahas that I heard and saw was that people had not thought about their real estate as a business. Yeah. Just that in and of itself. Yes. And then having a good framework to think The way I love to put it is to think through the business rather than just to the business.
Good.
So what I mean by that, and to expound on that a little bit, when you're thinking through, you're thinking, well, this is what I want to do for the customer. This is how I'm going to reach them. And when I get a hold of a few of them, right, I really want to start listening at that point, because they may introduce me to a different customer segment. Or
good.
They may introduce me to additional things that I could provide. But the other aha moment that came up was just the fact that there's a lot of things to think about, and the business model canvas helps you methodically compartmentalize those things and then dig for what those answers are.
That's really good. I think another thing too, we had a conversation yesterday with someone that is looking at the business coaching for their real estate business. And that was a really good conversation, because the person realized that if they're going to do more than just one house, if they really want to have a big impact and get multiple properties, that she knew that she has a business and that she had to approach it like that. Otherwise, it can be just these individual purchases without having that big picture of where you're going to.
Exactly. And in that case, in that conversation, they were talking about doing things in one location and then another location, even other states.
Yes.
And oftentimes when we approach business, we think we've got to do this all ourselves. We've got to do this all in-house.
So good.
When in fact, what we really should be thinking about is, how many businesses do I really have here? I may be the person who brings the big deal and introduces other people to opportunity, and then I help them get into the business in their location.
Good.
And then I can go help somebody else get into business in a different location. Yeah. And if I kind of back up and think about that, I don't have to own all of that. I can actually make more money by leveraging the desires of other people and helping them get what they want. And I can be a part of something much larger than what I could do if I thought I had to do it on my own.
Wow, that's really good. Let's talk about the value proposition for a moment.
Okay.
The value proposition in real estate. So there's a certain format, maybe share the format that Billy has us use. It's really good. But then give us an example. I'm really putting you on the spot here, but he can handle it. Give us an example of what a value proposition for someone in real estate might look like.
Sure. In fact, I literally thought through that and presented that at the quick start. So let's back up to the value proposition itself. There is a particular syntax, a particular way we like to do it, and it is this. We actually write out, we provide, and then in brackets, product or service. So there's where you interject what your particular product or service niche is. 2, and then we give a target audience, not the specific customer segment, but a target audience. And then we follow that with unlike, who's our next best competitor? And we name them. I mean, we want you to write them down. Who is our next best competitor? What do we provide differently? What is our unique value proposition, our unique selling proposition, our unique value that we do different than what other people do? How do we differentiate ourselves? And then at what cost or price? And there we're not looking for a specific hard number, but I'm really looking for, are we at market value? Are we below market value? Are we competing on price? Or are we commanding a premium price because we have a premium service?
Right.
So in real estate, if we were thinking about short-term rentals, our value proposition might be, we provide vacation memories of a lifetime in your vacation spot. Unlike XYZ bed and breakfast, whatever, we have a real home setting away from home, complete with entry, charcuterie, and beverages to your liking at a slightly premium price because we have a premium place.
That's so good.
So there's kind of an idea of the value proposition.
Yeah, and the thing with that, the value proposition isn't something that you would share externally. It can help drive your marketing a bit, but it's really an internal statement that drives a lot of the decisions. So if that's who we are, and then we pick up a property that maybe is subpar, that doesn't really fit into what our vision, our value proposition, because we could hurt our brand if someone stays there, they know it's us. So it really guides so much of the decision making. And it's very, very powerful to keep us in line with the vision. Now, tie that back to a vision statement. So Ray, you're amazing at teaching a vision as well.
Well, if we have that as our vision that we want to provide family lasting memories, vacation memories in your vacation lodging, right? Part of where I just went in my head was, so there's a property that comes up that doesn't meet our standards today. Then the question is, can I get that property to meet our standards in reasonable cost that we can recoup? So we've always got to have that counting the cost as we're in this and keep it from, you want to make sure that it's not just an emotional decision.
Yes.
You want to make sure the numbers work. If it's your primary residence, emotions run wild. But other than that, keep the numbers in mind. And so that vision, and you're right, Karen, it isn't necessarily something that we distribute externally, but within our team, we want the team to be aligned with that, with the vision and the value proposition, so that if they see anything that doesn't really add to and fulfill that value proposition, then they're bringing it up to say, hey, if we do these things, if we make these modifications, if we add these little features, then we'll have, it will meet our vision and our value proposition, and we'll be able to command that premium market price.
That's so good. I really like how all these pieces, like you tie them together so beautifully. He's masterful at this, as you can tell. So in that value proposition, being more of an internal, as you grow, if everybody agrees that this is why we're here, this is a vision statement, this is why we exist, and this is who we are in the value proposition and what we deliver. You kind of mentioned this, but it's a really good point. Then as you grow and everybody knows that, you're right. Like if someone tries to cut a corner, it'd be like, wait a minute, they can help catch those things.
Right.
And it really helps too from a marketing perspective, because while that value proposition isn't necessarily going public, the marketing and the branding kind of gets extracted out of that, and you put words to it to really describe from a marketing perspective what that value proposition is. That is so good. And when we're talking about vacation rentals and using that as an example, with vacation rentals too, when you really put yourself in the shoes of the people in those customer relationships, it helps you with really practical things like, wow, if I was in the kitchen and I was staying here for a week, right? What would I want to see? I'm going to put myself in the shoes of someone that's here, because I've been in a lot of vacation rentals where you go in and it's like, this was not thought through at all. It's stark. The things that you need are not there. And I like how you said, listen to the customers too. But when you get on the front end of these things, what you're teaching us on, you don't have to go through those hard knocks as you go through the business. You will have a few of them, I'm sure, but at least it's thinking things through. So when you launch, you are really in great shape.
Yeah. One of the things, and you may do this, I don't know, but if I were to purchase another vacation rental property, and I had it fixed up, and I'm ready to open it up for customers, if at all possible, I want to be the first one that stays there.
Oh yeah, we do that. We do that a lot because you catch things.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And so that helps you see, oh, well, we need this other set of utensils, pots, pans, dishes, just little things that help make it feel like home the minute you walk in.
Absolutely. That's so interesting you say that, because we definitely do that in as much as we can. And you just, it just comes together. And then you don't have a bad review because it's you, right? Until you get those things straight. Let's hop over now to the customer segments.
Okay.
In real estate, we had a situation in one of our vacation rentals where we were offering it at a pretty good price at the beginning, which is a super strategy, so that the people staying there, they really felt like they had good value, and it kind of builds up your initial reviews. But in the process, we had a guest. It was just a kind of strange interaction. We still got a 5-star review. We were really grateful for that. But in the process, with some of their comments coming back, Levi said, you know what? I don't think that they are in, like, this is, how did he say it? They're not in our customer segment, is basically what he said. So we drew someone in from our price, but we drew someone in that wasn't in our customer segment, so that when they got in the property, which is a very nice property, they really didn't appreciate it, or, I don't know. I was just thinking, like, wow, Levi, you really nailed that, because if we're not getting our customer segments and drawing and attracting customer segments that would have appreciation for the high-end things and all the extras, we're going to miss the mark with that. And so can you just expound on that a bit with customer segments?
Well, it really... it gets down, Karen, to you really do need to think through what customer you're going after. If I have a high-end bed or a vacation rental, then I want to make sure I'm targeting the high-end customer and the high disposable income, the people who are used to good amenities, and I'm going to price it as such. If I get somebody in that is way over their budget, that really doesn't help them.
Exactly.
It doesn't help them have a good time. And likewise, if I get somebody in who feels like they got ripped off, and can't appreciate what's there, they can unfortunately leave you with some damage you have to repair. And those are things that so you really have to think about, okay, how am I presenting this? And, as you build your portfolio, you may decide that you really want to look like two companies. If you have a higher end portfolio, or properties in your portfolio, make sure you market them, but separate from, so that you don't confuse the brand.
Yeah, that's really good. And it's interesting, the end of that value proposition where you actually say where you're at, to stick with it. And that we kind of learned that just on that one guest. And again, it all worked out great. It was a 5-star review, but it just kind of hit me as you were talking that, wow, we stepped outside of our value proposition in pricing. And then we attracted someone that was not in our customer segment. So this works.
Yeah, it does work. And it's really, not only as you're attracting them in, but then the customer relationship side. What do you do for the people who have stayed? how do you follow up with them? How do you thank them for staying there? Encourage those reviews. I mean, we're kind of zooming in on the short-term rentals, and we can have a similar kind of discussion around buy and holds, long-term rentals.
Yes.
So there's that, but just using the business model canvas and thinking through the questions in the various elements of the canvas just really help you understand where you're at, what you need to do to take it to the next level.
Wow, Ray, this is so good. Isn't this, all you real estate investors, isn't this great? This gives us a whole new perspective on how to just really nail that investment with real estate. And then also, many of us in real estate, I know talking to a lot of you in the Wealth Builders family, we're all about legacy and generational wealth. So this is a type of thing that you put together that you can teach your children, your grandchildren, and pass on to that next generation. And just one more question. Sure. How often, Ray, should we revisit our business model canvas?
Well, I get that a lot, and people say, well, if I do one of these, it's done, right? And I've got that block checked off. No, you really need to do a business model canvas. If you're just getting started, you need to do what we call a zero canvas. Where are you right now? Yep. And you can lay out your value proposition, who you think your customers will be, how do you get to them, how do you build that relationship, what kind of revenue do you anticipate. It is a lot of forecasting work up front, a lot of market research, but that serves you well once you move beyond. But the main place there is, what are the key activities you need to do to get started? And what resources do you need to do to get started, to buy that first location? So then once you want to think in that zero term, then you want to have another canvas at about targeted for 6 months.
Okay, 6 months.
6 months after I get started, I expect to be up and running. Maybe I expect to have my first set of customers in. And then you also want to look at 1 year. So what's really going to change is the key activities and the key resources.
Right.
You will tweak the value proposition a little bit. At the 1 year mark, you may bring in another customer segment based on what you've seen. So we typically do a zero canvas, a 6 month canvas, a 12-month canvas, and then you can go to 18 or 24. That really helps you think ahead in terms of, how do I increase my real estate holdings and move in different areas? Great. I may do the short-term rental, I may get that up and running, and then I may say, well, this is pretty cool, but I want to get into a long-term rental. Look at that as a different business. Still part of your real estate portfolio, but it is a different customer segment with a different value proposition. You're still providing home or housing, but it's not short-term. It's, I want to provide stability for couples, families, whatever.
That's so good, Ray. You can tell there's a lot of information here. And again, Ray is going to be part of our business and nonprofit workshop that is coming up in August. So you can get registered for that by just clicking on the link below. And also, Ray is one of our business coaches. So Wealth Builders offers business coaching, and we actually walk you through this process. It's a year-long program, and we work with you to build the business model canvas along with your core organization objectives. We go through the strategies, we set your KPIs. It is truly one of the best business coaching programs out there that we actually don't talk about that much. So if you're interested in that, you can go to wealthbuilders.org, click on coaching, and then go to business coaching, and then you can schedule a 30-minute consultation with the coaches, which I'm a coach, Ray's a coach. We've got Frank Pulley, my husband Dave. And if you really want to grow your business, I can't think of a better program for people to come and be a part of. So thank you so much for joining us today on the Wealth Builders Podcast. Please share this with friends and family. The podcast is really growing, and we just know that this is something that's helping people, but also it's a season. It's this time that we believe God is really calling the marketplace into action here in this third great awakening. So thanks again. God bless you. Have a great rest of your day.